Astronomers monitoring deep space radio frequencies suddenly detected something unusual, a signal so structured, so deliberate, it set off alarms across observatories around the globe. The source? An object already wrapped in mystery. 3I Atlas, the third known interstellar visitor to enter our solar system. For decades, the universe has remained quiet, or so we thought. But on an ordinary night in late October 2025, that silence was broken not by a roar or a flash, but by a pattern, a pulse, repeating, rhythmic, and impossible to ignore. But this time, the mystery isn't just about where it came from. It's about what it might be saying. On October 29, 2025, as 3I Atlas reached its closest point to the Sun, its perihelion radio telescopes, tuned to 1420 MHz, the hydrogen line picked up a transmission. The pulses were mathematically sequenced in an unmistakable pattern, 8-13, 8-5, 13-8. This wasn't random static or electromagnetic noise. This was structured, intentional, and eerily familiar. The numbers echo the sequence found throughout nature, the Fibonacci sequence, a mathematical signature of spirals, growth, and balance, present in everything from sunflower seeds to spiral galaxies. But it wasn't just the numbers that shocked scientists. Allegedly, researchers analyzing the rhythm translated it into a phrase that would only deepen the mystery. Observe, prepare, understand. The gate awaits. At the heart of this phenomenon is the frequency itself, 1420 MHz. It's not just another slice of the radio spectrum. It's known as the hydrogen line, the exact frequency emitted by neutral hydrogen atoms, the most abundant element in the universe. For years, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, or SETI, has monitored this frequency, labeling it the interstellar calling channel. The logic is simple. If an intelligent species were to transmit a message to the cosmos, they'd likely use the most universal frequency in nature. So when a repeated pattern appears on this frequency, especially from an interstellar object passing close to our solar system, scientists take it seriously. The structure of the pulse pattern is what first caught attention. Multiple observatories, spanning continents and separated by over 15,000 kilometers, logged the same pulse sequence within minutes of each other. A glitch? Unlikely. Instrumental error? Even less likely, given the distance and synchronization. The numbers 8-13, 8-5, 13-8 aren't arbitrary. They're Fibonacci adjacent, appearing within that spiral mathematical progression that governs much of the natural world. And within that rhythm, some believe was hidden a deeper message. One group of researchers claimed to decode the signal using symbolic mapping based on timing and pulse groupings. What emerged was a chilling sequence of words. Observe, prepare, understand, the gate awaits. Were these literal instructions, a warning, a metaphor, or simply human projection layered onto a pattern we desperately want to mean something? This isn't the first time the Fibonacci sequence has shown up in our understanding of the universe. It's embedded in the spiraling arms of galaxies, in the proportions of hurricanes, even in the geometry of DNA. Nature seems to speak in this sequence, but when it appears in a radio signal, timed with the passage of an interstellar object, the implications shift. Suddenly, we're not just observers of natural math, we're potential recipients of an engineered message. On October 13, 2025, just weeks before the signal's detection, independent researcher David Sarita reported observing strange light modulations near 3I Atlas. He claimed the emissions followed a Fibonacci rhythm. The coincidence didn't stop there. October 13 also marked the 108th anniversary of the Miracle of the Sun at Fatima, Portugal, an event many believe involved celestial phenomena and even contact. Is it a coincidence, synchronicity, or are we drawing meaning where none exists? To understand the full weight of this, we have to look deeper into 3I Atlas itself. Discovered in July 2025 by Hawaii's Atlas Survey, the object was quickly flagged as interstellar. Its hyperbolic trajectory, exceeding solar escape velocity, confirmed it was not from our solar system. Unlike 1I/Oumuamua or 2I Borisov, which passed relatively quietly, 3I Atlas began exhibiting behaviors that had no precedent. Massive gas plumes, anti-solar jets, strange polarization signatures, and now, potentially, the signal. Physicist Michio Kaku described it as the most mysterious interstellar object we've encountered so far. Its orbit showed it would not return. This was a one-time visitor, a lone wanderer crossing our neighborhood and possibly announcing its presence. If the signal is real, and if it is artificial, the implications are extraordinary. A message structured on the Fibonacci sequence, transmitted at 1420 MHz, synchronized across multiple listening points on Earth, emerging from a known interstellar object. This would be the first direct contact ever made between humanity and an alien intelligence. The structured nature of the pulse, the clarity of the frequency, and the correlation with 3I Atlas position all suggest something more than coincidence. But to be fair and scientifically responsible, counterpoints must be heard. Critics argued the signal could be caused by resonance effects in the solar wind, magnetized plasma, or even human interference that was wrongly correlated with the object's path. Some call it pareidolia, our brain's tendency to see patterns in randomness. Others point to viral internet attention skewing the interpretation. Until data is peer-reviewed and reproducible, the signal must remain a candidate, not a confirmation, but it's a candidate worth watching. On October 29, the day 3I Atlas reached perihelion, it came within 1.8 astronomical units of Earth, roughly 167 million miles. That distance may seem vast, but in cosmic terms, it's remarkably close. From this range, Earth's most powerful instruments were trained on the object, not just to observe its physical form, but to record any emissions, irregularities, or maneuvers. Scientists at JPL, Harvard, and observatories worldwide began monitoring the object with renewed intensity. The timing couldn't be more perfect or more suspicious. As the object neared the sun, some hoped solar heating might trigger an event, a transformation, or perhaps even a reply. But the sun had its own plans. From October 21 onward, 3I Atlas entered solar conjunction, becoming invisible to Earth-based telescopes as it passed behind the sun's glare. For weeks, the object was lost in the brightness, forcing researchers to rely on coronagraphs, radio observations, and mathematical modeling. Only in December will 3I Atlas emerge from behind the sun and into the pre-dawn skies of the northern hemisphere. When it does, astronomers expect to catch new glimpses of its structure and possibly the signal. And just before I get to the next point, subscribe to the channel if you want to stay updated with genuine and informative space news. The broader implications are hard to overstate. If this signal is verified, if it did originate from 3I Atlas, then we are not alone, not in a hypothetical sense, not in a theoretical model, but in the here and now. We would have detected a message from something intelligent and alien. And if that message is built around Fibonacci mathematics, then it suggests a shared language between us and whoever or whatever sent it. If it's a hoax, we must dissect how such patterns could appear naturally. But if it's real, this is the first moment in history where the universe spoke, and we had the technology and the attention to listen. And the message, that's what haunts the mind. Observe, prepare, understand. The gate awaits. 4 sentences, 6 words, each loaded with meaning. Observe, are we being watched or are we the watchers? Prepare. For what? A transition? Contact? A choice? Understand. Are we being tested on comprehension? The gate awaits. A passage? An invitation? A warning? The phrasing is vague enough to provoke wild theories, but specific enough to feel deliberate. Some believe the gate refers to a cosmic alignment or a moment in human evolution. Others suspect it's metaphorical, our initiation into a larger galactic consciousness. Still others warn against anthropomorphizing too quickly. Perhaps it's not a message to us at all, but a byproduct of an alien civilization, simply performing a routine task that happens to intersect with our curiosity. As 3I Atlas drifts further from the sun and prepares to exit our system, the window for answers narrows. The signal, if real, may fade. The object will grow dimmer, but the impact of this moment, real or imagined, will linger. We are living in a time where science fiction edges into science fact, where the unknown leans in just enough to demand our attention. Whether the Fibonacci signal is a cosmic coincidence or a call from the stars, it forces us to ask the questions that define us. Are we alone? And if not, what comes next? As the object fades, so too might the noise. But the idea remains that perhaps in this vast galaxy, something reached out, something intelligent, something ancient. And if so, will we answer? Or did we already miss our chance? Stay alert, keep listening, because the cosmos may not always shout. Sometimes it simply pulses. Subscribe for more informative space videos coming up your way.